Hey everyone, and welcome to another live session of the Type Convo. Today I'm super excited about this conversation I'm going to have with my guest. He's a type designer, a really, really interesting type designer. I have been following his work for quite some time now, and it will be such a pleasure to actually talk to him. He is a designer behind the Type Foundry, and he goes by the name Harbor, only Harbor. He says he's like Beyonce, so he only needs just the first name. He also calls himself the best designer in the world. That's what his domain name is. Hey
What
there,
up?
how are you?
All doing good. Can you hear me fine, everything?
Yeah, that's nice. That's great. I can hear you, I can see you, and that's perfect.
Awesome. I was a little worried. I figured, podcasts, whatever that I've done in the past have just been on the computer and I didn't think of it. Then I read Instagram Live and I panicked at 9:59 because I don't even use a smartphone. So I had to find
Oh
my phone
wow.
that I haven't used for years, hope it was charged. So
Oh,
right.
that's well. I mean, it's going faster than it usually goes with the rest of the guests, so you are doing great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I said, it's really a pleasure to have you. I've been following your work for years, and we don't know each other in person, so it's really a pleasure to meet you. And you have an amazing work and amazing foundry. You do amazing things. I've been exploring your website, and it's really, really a pleasure to have you here today.
Oh, thank you. All high praises. I could say the same to you.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So let's start with the best designer in the world.
Yeah.
Tell us more about it.
Yeah. That's my personal website, thebestdesignintheworld.com. Um, After grad school, I was in a program for web design that was hosted by Wix for 6 weeks or something, where you built a portfolio website. And when it came time to buy the domain, I was just like, let me play with it.
Yeah.
Most designers are going to have their name and this and that, and I was just like, I don't know, maybe the website name can be just as fun or important a design choice as anything visual. So I was just like, I've always joked I'm gonna be the best designer in the world. I looked
Yeah.
it up and it was waiting for me, so I bought it, and now my
It's
website, best
it's
designer.
so like I was thinking to myself, how is it possible that he got this domain in the first place? Like,
Right? Yeah, nobody got it, surprisingly.
no, that's super cool to do. Yeah, I mean, such a distinctive thing. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. As we usually do in these live chats, tell us a bit more about yourself. Where did you study? What attracted you to typography, to design in general? And then we'll go to a bit more different questions.
Yeah. So I kind of have both sides of the coin as far as, well, I'll explain it, but I started as a graphic designer. I always wanted to be something in the arts, and I grew up skating and kind of in that culture and logos. And so graphic design is what I kind of found my lane in. And I'm from a small town in Utah. It's at the bottom corner of Utah. It's called St. George. Very small town. When I grew up, very small town. Um, and I just went to the local college. Very, very small program. They didn't even have a graphic design program, really. It
Okay.
was, so my degree was in arts, not even fine arts, just arts with
Okay.
an emphasis in graphic design. So, very small town school kind of stuff. And I graduated 2017 and then worked for a couple years and decided I I've always had the aspiration to become the very best at what I do. Not like, oh, I'm better than everybody else, but as absolutely good as I can be at it. And just kind of jokingly, like, I'm be the best in the world because, I mean, why not aim for that, if you're going to aim
Why
something.
not? So
Um,
true.
yeah, so I felt like I was kind of like missing out. Like, so I wanted to go to grad school because I felt like, just this small town university, I didn't get the design education that good designers get. So then um, I applied for grad schools. I just Googled like 10 best design programs in the world and just kind of applied to like 10 of the best ones or whatever. And ended up getting into a few of them in New York. I chose to go to the School of Visual Arts because the designers that came from there were super articulate. They could explain their designs, why they made the decisions they made. And that really resonated with me. And then the program itself was called Designers as Entrepreneurs. So I always kind of grew up with an entrepreneurial mindset. My father was always an entrepreneur. And so it just seemed the perfect fit. And then I went to grad school in New York. The program was 2 years, but it only took me three. So, hey,
Hey,
yeah, I deferred a year, then graduated in 2022. And I guess, I mean, I feel like I'm talking too much, but
no, no,
basically, in
the
the,
space is all yours.
yeah. So I started the grad program in 2019, was supposed to graduate 2021. What had happened was we all know what happened.
Yeah.
Somebody got the flu. No, just kidding. But
Somebody
yeah,
got it fluid, true.
somebody got the flu, and the school said, okay, we're going to shut down for 2 weeks. I was in New York City, and it was absolutely crazy there. I was like, there was no food in the grocery store. So I was like, let me go back home to my small town in Utah. Um, did that, met a girl, fell in love, said, hey, if I don't marry this girl, someone else will, and I will regret it until the day I die. Um, so I called my school and said, hey, I'm going to take a year off. I'm going to get married. I don't want to do online school. So I deferred a year. So within that kind of gap year, I, was married, spent all my money on the wedding and just living, and I had no more money. So I needed a way to uh, pay rent and buy groceries when I go back to grad school. So fonts in my mind was the perfect thing because the program was very, very intense, like 100-hour weeks
Oh,
almost every
wow.
single week. So I couldn't have time to get a job. And I was like, how am I gonna do this? So for that year, I just made a bunch of fonts and I was like, okay, it's a digital product. I can make it once, sell it 1,000 times. I don't have to spend time with shipping and this and that and the bum bum. So just kind of desperately started doing fonts because I needed a way to make a living without having a job in grad school. And it worked out. Here we are.
It
Five.
worked out. Yeah. No, it worked out beautifully, definitely. I mean, when I was looking at the fonts you did and your website, and there's so many different styles, which I really appreciate, seeing. And to me, it has kind of a more value than when you do just one style. And so it's definitely like from Western fonts to a lot of variable fonts you did, the script serifs and really, really distinctive styles. So that's quite well done.
Yeah, I could say the same to you. I feel like we're very similar in our sensibilities.
Yeah,
And
I tried to do it differently. Yeah,
yeah,
that's like, I mean, I said it, I think, before when I was talking to Tom. You worked with him from Australia. He was my last guest. And it's kind of like I would get bored if I would do just like elegant serif fonts. So I have to do something differently. So yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like I kind of took a different approach because when I started, I was like really desperate. Like, I need to do this. I need to get good at it. I need to find something that sticks. So like, if you notice on my website, like towards the bottom of the list of fonts, it's
Yeah,
more
yeah,
like,
they are more different. That's true.
because I was just trying everything. I was like, what do I like? I need to learn everything. So I need to try everything. I feel like now I'm more boring and I kind of found my lane in variable sans serif typefaces. That's mostly what I do now. But starting off, I just was doing everything because I wanted to learn everything and master it as fast as I could, and I didn't know what I liked yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm the opposite. I'm like, I'm bored with switching styles. I want to go so deep on this
Straight to
one.
one. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I mean
But
that
yeah,
works as well after you've I don't know, like explored everything. So if you are satisfied with one, that's the only thing that matters in the end.
yeah. No, and I think it's good advice. Like this is the advice I give to people in school versus like the working world. In school, try everything. Try absolutely everything so you can find something that you love more than anything else. But once you get into the working world, people don't pay you a lot of money to do everything. They pay you a lot of money to do one thing very well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
then that's when. So that's kind of the approach I took. First try it all, and then once you find what excites you, then go deep on that. So yeah.
Ah, it's definitely. I mean, I love the portfolio and love it. How did the collaboration with Tom happen?
Yeah, so Tom has been a mentor to me when I first started type design. It was I would publish a font like every 2 weeks for about 3 months. I did that with no
Wow.
sales, absolutely zero sales.
Oh,
One sale from one of my professors who,
oh
you know,
wow.
whatever. um, so I made like $6 for 3 months, and I was like
Wow.
desperate, like I need this to work. So I just like cold emailed every type designer I could think of, and Tom was the only one that got back to me and was willing
Wow.
to help me. So I will always, always, always be indebted to Tom for giving me advice and helping me get to the point where I actually saw some sales and this and that. So when I kind of discovered my lane, what was working for me, doing variable sans serif typefaces, they were what was selling the best for me. So I reached out to Tom. I was like, "Hey, these are selling the best by far for me. I notice you don't have one on your site. Do you want to collaborate? We can make one together, and maybe it will be something that's good for you too." Um, and so it kind of came about that way, just sharing what works for one
Yeah,
another and
yeah.
to help one another succeed, kind of putting our skills together. So yeah,
Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, I mean, Tom was always, even when I was like in the same place you were, like asking people, how do you do this? How do you do that? Because I had no like education in design or typography. So it was like learning all by myself. And he definitely was, well, one of the rare persons that replied to those emails. So I know where you get from, and definitely a really amazing person,
oh
Tom
yeah,
is.
sure. Tom's great. So
Yeah.
I always anybody that messages me now, email or whatever, like, hey, can you help me? I always make time for them because when Tom did that for me, cannot be understated, literally changed the course of my life for 1 hour of his time. So I
Yeah.
I mean, not to be like, I'm gonna do that for everyone else, but like, I don't know, maybe. So yeah.
Yeah. That's super nice. So you started with fonts to earn money to finish the degree. You finished it in the end. That's okay.
Yeah.
And did you actually plan to do something different after that, or continue with fonts, or
Yeah. yeah, I definitely, I mean, I was living in New York City, very expensive. When I graduated, the average rent was like $4,000.
Oh,
So, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
and the fonts were doing good. I was making like, $60,000. The year I graduated, I think I made $60,000 selling fonts,
Oh,
which is good, a lot of money, but not a lot of money if you live in New York City.
yeah. If you live in
And,
New York, it's different.
yeah, and I had always wanted to live in New York City. My mother lived there when she was a young adult. My father lived there when he was a young adult. I just felt called to it. So I was like, I want to live here. Fonts isn't enough, but I can also get a job. And then with the job and fonts, no problem. So I got a job. I always wanted like a job at a cool design studio. That's like cutting edge contemporary work. And I got that job. And I lasted 3 months. I could
Oh,
not
wow.
stand it.
No, why not?
um, and this is to say nothing about the studio. It was at Mythology, which amazing work coming out of Mythology. Awesome people, awesome work. I'm not saying like, oh, I left because the studio was bad or nothing like that at all. I left
Okay.
because I am way too snotty and arrogant and pretentious.
Okay.
Like, I don't want anybody telling me what to do. Um, and just after getting a taste of making money on your own and not having a boss, not having clients, being able to follow my intuition. And if I fail, it's my fault. If I succeed, awesome, I made a good choice. I learned something. I'm going to try and do that again. And just having the freedom, the free time that comes with font design, I just, I couldn't do the working for somebody else. And I was like, I could, I mean, I was making a lot of money at the studio. I was very, very comfortable. I was like, yes, this is it. Um,
Okay.
but in the end, it wasn't worth the time because I was like, I could make a lot of money as long as I have this job. But what if I get fired? Or what if I quit? I have absolutely nothing. I've worked years and now I have nothing to show for it. So I was like, building my own thing. It's more secure. Once I design a font, I'll always have it. I can. So yeah, it just didn't. I just couldn't quite do the job thing. So
Yeah, I completely understand you. Like, I definitely appreciate people who are able to do it, but it's just not something that I could do it. I mean, I've never did it, and actually, like since I started working like 16 years ago, I always did it for myself. I had an agency and I had client work and everything, but I would not be able to do for someone else, like to sit and I don't know. I mean, people can do it and that's amazing. You know, there's a lot of people who do amazing job in agencies and everything. But I understand you when you say it's just not something that I can go with.
yeah,
So yeah, doing fonts and doing your own thing and building your own thing is definitely a road that I can completely understand and why you did it. So yeah, I can definitely agree with that and see where
yeah,
you come from.
yeah. But I mean, as a result, I had to really analyze what I wanted and my priorities. And when I decided, like, hey, I'm just not happy in the job. I'm too stressed. I work too much. I worry about my future. It's so unstable. What if I get fired? Then I'm kaput. Um, so, but fonts weren't making enough money to continue living in New York City. So, me and my wife, we had to make the decision, like, what's our priority? Okay, we have to move out of New York. And for a while, we tried to figure out where to live. We did France for a bit. We did Mexico City. We were really exploring, but then we just ended up in my wife's parents' place.
Okay.
living with the in-laws and actually like loving it. Being with
Really?
fam. Oh yeah, being with
Okay.
family is so great. And it's like kind of funny. I tell people like, yeah, I live with my in-laws. They're like, oh, you're saving for a
Yeah.
house. I'm like, no, I'm
No.
just loving it.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Well, not a lot of people can say that they are happy with their in-laws. Well, at least living with them. So
Yeah,
good for
no, it's
you, man.
great. It's good. They don't charge me rent, and I cook them dinner every night, and it's a good deal. So,
That's perfect. I
yeah.
hope for them as well. I hope you're a good cook. Okay. Okay. Good. Good,
At
good.
least
That's
they lie
good.
to me and tell me I am. So,
Yeah, well, you never know.
yeah.
That's super cool. So I'm on your website. I've seen that you do client work as well in the print and animations. They are really cool. And so, what do you do the most these days? Are those like fonts, or you actually take on client projects, or
Yeah. This year, I vowed strictly typeface design. I was lucky enough last year. I had a really good year. Money wise, I had some excellent clients, made a lot of money last year to the point where I don't need to work this year. Like, if I just say, I'm going to take a year off work entirely, I'll be fine. But that's
amazing?
just not my personality. So I said, I'm going to take this year to try and build the business that I want to build without the pressure of needing to make an income and give myself a little bit of a cushion. And that is type design. And I want to kind of move away from what that is, where it's more, well, not move away from it. I guess so. The ideology of that type is super accessible. The fonts are $15, all inclusive license. They're mostly display fonts, that kind of thing,
Okay,
which I enjoyed thoroughly for a long time. But now that I've kind of found my lane in more robust variable sans serif typefaces, I want to start a second type foundry that's focused more on like super robust variable typefaces that the hobbyist isn't going to really use or appreciate, but maybe large companies that
yeah,
need robust support or really high end design studios, things like that. Kind of the more high end audience, business to business, as opposed to
okay,
fonts for consumers. So I'm
okay,
still doing that, but it just kind of got to a point in my life where the things I wanted to design didn't make sense in that universe. So I'm
okay.
starting a second type foundry. Still, I mean, designing fonts just
Yeah,
of a different
just
ilk.
a bit
And
different. Okay.
yeah, so yeah,
Do you already have a name, or that's still a secret?
it's a. I'll show you right here.
Oh, amazing.
Vanilla.
Oh,
Let's
vanilla
yeah.
cream. Okay.
So that's
That's
the first font, Vanilla Grotesque, but the studio's
okay.
called Vanilla Type. It's not live yet, but hopefully in a month or so.
Oh, that's take your time. Take your time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I just launched my first website like last
yeah,
week, so
that's good.
I'm nobody to tell you like, hurry up, you need a website. Nah, like just take your time and when you're ready, and that's. But it's amazing, it's good road, and I definitely see now that some of my typefaces don't really fit the new style, the new website, because I did them like 5, 6 years ago, and I didn't even upload some of them on the website because they're just not, representative of my work at the moment. So I definitely understand where you are going with this. So yeah, that's cool. I'm looking forward to see more of those. And I've seen some of them on your website, like with 40 something styles, and that's super cool. Like, yeah. So I appreciate that a lot. So
Yeah, this
um,
the vanilla one, Vanilla
yeah,
Grotesque.
yeah.
It's gonna
It's
on launch. It's gonna have 192 styles, like
oh wow.
162 display, text, mono, like super super robust. Just you know,
Oh,
going absolutely extreme, and it might
yeah.
not work. We'll see.
Wow, you never know. I mean, I did typefaces that had zero sales, one or two sales, but then you have another one that blows up, unexpectedly. I built typefaces in a couple of days that's made more sales than the typefaces you do for like a month. So you never know. Yeah. But
Yeah, yeah, that's how it
yeah,
goes.
yeah. I'm sure it will be good. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll see.
just take your time. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, lucky enough, if it doesn't work out next year, I'll just go back to what I'm doing, and yeah, so
Yeah, I mean that's one of the good things when you are your own boss and you know what works in the end and you have options. It's not just like being employed and then you get fired, as you said, and what do you do? But like this, you
yeah.
have options. So that's
No, yeah, I've been thinking about it. People like, sometimes I'm surrounded by people who support me. So, and like entrepreneurs, like all my friends, a lot of my brothers and sisters, all my family, very entrepreneurial. But people who don't have that network, a lot of the times are like, I'm quitting my job, I'm starting my own business. And people around them are like, well, that's not very stable. And I'm like, it's much more stable. If you have a
that's so
job
true.
and one person decides they don't want your work, you go from 100 to zero with one person's decision. Thousands of people buy my typefaces, so thousands of people need to decide, hey, I don't want to buy this guy's work anymore.
Yeah, that's
It's not going to happen. So,
yeah. I definitely agree with that. I mean, it's way easier to, and you can adapt. I mean, if some kind of, I don't know, some sort of typefaces don't work anymore, you do something different. You go with templates, I don't know, or you are doing great animations, so you can even try that if it doesn't. So there's always options when you're doing things for yourself. So I
yeah.
definitely get that. Yeah, and
Speaking of which, oh, maybe you got a question. I was speaking of adapting. Um, I don't know. I think you've touched on it a little bit before, but with the new like AI and type, where do you see things going?
I wanted to ask the same question, but
But
honestly,
I'll tell you what I think
yeah,
first.
yeah, I'm gonna answer. No worries. To be honest, I see a lot of people like being afraid of AI, and especially like designers, illustrators. But to me, somehow it's more like of a tool. I don't use it to design typefaces. I might in, I don't know, a year, who knows, I'm not saying I will not do it. So far, I'm not using it to design fonts, and it's definitely not something I'm interested in at the moment. But I would say that for me, it actually saves so much time for I don't know, the captions, the descriptions, coming up with a name for a font, or coming up with tags or search engine optimization. And it's so, so helpful. Even, for example, recently I did since Firefly has a video option right now, and you can, I don't know, just tell it to come up with a video that will be perfect for a presentation of your font. So, yeah, I mean, it's true that even ChatGPT can design those simple typefaces right now, but I don't think we will be like, it will take our jobs. I don't really think that. I mean, who knows? Maybe I am wrong. I don't know, but I don't see it. It happened before, like when Photoshop came out the first time, and everyone was like, oh, this is the end of photography. And you look back in the last couple of years, photography business are booming. And like, so I see it as a tool,
Yeah,
for designers to do it this way or that way. If you want to use it, I don't really mind designers using it for their work. I do see some ethical, stuff by how actually the agencies like, the companies like OpenAI and Google and Adobe are doing, like, where do they learn those things? So yeah, it's probably not the most ethical way to build a company and build a business. And I see a problem a bit there, but I don't think when it comes to those like people who say that, oh, it will take our jobs. I don't think it will, at least not anytime soon. And even if there is a lot of people coming up with typefaces designed by I do believe that people will actually still look for like human touch in the typefaces. And it's the same with art. You know, if you are looking at paintings or music or whatever, when someone is done by a person, it will always have more value than done by a computer or a processor or whatever. So that's how I see things. So I don't really worry about it. You know, even if it starts creating typefaces, I will adapt. You know, I did it before and I don't really worry too much about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I see that world at the moment.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's funny. People are saying like, "Oh, it'll take our jobs." I think when it comes to typefaces, in particular, in type design, that it won't take our jobs. It might take our customers, in the sense that there's kind of two worlds that use typefaces. There's the hobbyist, and then there's the business. So I think the hobbyist who might buy a display typeface to put it on a quilt or a t-shirt for a family reunion or something, they only need to use that font one time ever to say one thing ever.
Yeah.
I think that now, instead of having to pay $15 to buy a display font or whatever, it's faster, it's easier to just chat GPT. They don't have the sophistication of like nuance of, they just want 70s, and if it
Yeah.
looks 70s, it's
And
good.
that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the hobbyist segment of the people who used to buy typefaces as hobbyists, gone. I don't, in my mind, entirely gone. So I think that the business will switch more business to consumer to business to business. So,
Yeah.
typefaces, they're more than just the look of a letter. It's a robust
Absolutely.
software. So
Yeah.
part of the type designer's job is, coding the software. Each
Yeah.
font is a software.
Yes.
And businesses need to use fonts over and over and over in nuanced ways depending on your business. It's like no software company is worried about AI because they know how nuanced and sophisticated a usable software needs to be. And AI
Absolutely.
only helps create that, but
Yeah.
it can't
Yeah.
also create that. So that's kind of how I see it. Is I'm looking
Yeah.
at myself and kind of adjusting, as going from the type, or the that type, which is more consumer typefaces, to my new type foundry, more business to business, more. That's kind of where I'm looking now. Is I think that the hobbyist will no longer buy typefaces, so I'm not going to make typefaces for hobbyists anymore, because 100% honest, I'm going to disagree with what you said. Chat GPT does it better than me.
Okay.
If I'm a customer, it's easier to use Chat GPT. Takes 5 seconds and it's free.
That's
Why would
true.
I pay $15, have a design software? It just, Chat GPT does the hobbyist typeface so much better from the perspective of the consumer. So I'm like,
Yeah. Well,
I can't compete with that. I can't
yeah.
give
I
them
mean,
away. I can't. Yeah.
that's true. That's
So
true. I mean, if you need, as you said, like 70s for a t-shirt or whatever slogan or something, it's gone. That's true. But exactly as if you are going with a business and you are selling to a business, for example, I don't know, if Nike is doing a big commercial for a new brand or whatever, they will definitely not use a ChatGPT font because they need different weights, different heights, language support, and millions of other things. So yeah, that's definitely a part where we shouldn't be afraid as long as we adapt to going from those fonts that we sell for like hobbyists to other businesses. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
but I mean, in the end, we're saying the same thing. You look at what's happening, you adapt, you say, what
absolutely.
does this tool do better than me, so I don't have to do it anymore. I'm going to focus all my attention here, elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Um, how do you currently approach designing typefaces? Do you go for inspiration somewhere? What inspires you? How does it work for you?
Yeah, so when I first started, it was very different. Like I said, I tried every style, everything. So I just had kind of like a backlog, like I know what I'm going to do for the next year because I have 20 different
Okay.
styles I want to try. Now I still kind of have a backlog, but it's like, okay, I know what 8 typefaces I want to design. I'm very interested in making boring typefaces, like what's my version of like Helvetica? What's my version of Times New Roman? What's my version of, all the basics.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm jumping off from. But the only problem is now instead of being able to design a typeface in a couple of days, it's taking me months and months. So I have 8 typefaces I want to design, and I think it's going to take me about 4 years. So I feel like I have the next like 4 years planned out.
Oh,
If
that's
things
that's
go well.
amazing. Yeah, I
If
mean, you
things
know
go
what to
well.
do.
Yeah.
That's good.
And yeah, on a more practical level, I say, okay, I want to make these 8 typefaces. Maybe none of them sell. So I think, okay, it was a good plan, but it's not going to work. So on to the next. But if it works, cool. I got the next, 3, 4 years planned out. And then the process of actual design is I'm very much like technology first. I This might be contrary to what most people think. I don't use the hand. I don't draw the letters by hand.
Oh God, me neither.
Ever. I just
No.
I understand the utility of it, but for me, the best tool is the tool that works for me. I've been drawing on a computer for near 20 years. I am faster, better, more intuitive with a mouse than a pencil. So, and yeah, so I start in the Glyphs software. I don't do sketches, I don't do by hand, I don't do any of that. I start in the software. And I usually, because I'm obsessed with typefaces, know what needs to be done 90% before I even put it down. Like,
Okay.
I'm sure you are too, so familiar with the anatomy of type. Like, I don't see an N. I see the small stroke above the shoulder. I see where the
Yeah,
shoulder connects to the stem. I see the width. I see the weight distribution of the curve of the N.
absolutely.
I see, there's 100 decisions that go into designing an N. And I feel like because I'm so obsessed with type design, I can make those decisions in my head and know what they look like before putting it onto paper. So I pretty much, before I ever start, I'm 90% there. I just need to draw it. So
Yeah, I don't draw either. Like I did before when I was like doing hand drawn typefaces, like some scripts. I didn't do those for a while, but when it comes to, I don't know, serifs and sans and grotesque typefaces, it's just you go to glyphs and that's it. I cannot, if I start to draw it, first of all, it's horrible. I will never get the shape I actually have in my head. So
yeah,
I go straight to glyphs, and as you said, like already how that N and O should look, and then you have everything else. So I definitely do the
yeah,
same thing as you do.
yeah. It's a very boring process because there's not a lot of discovery. I, I'm gonna say this: I go on walks every day for probably about an hour or so, and
Okay.
if I'm alone, I'm just thinking about like typeface design. So I would say I design most of my typefaces on walks. Like in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, what if the O did this? What if it did that? And all I need to do then when I get home is sit in front of a computer and
Yeah, and
actually. Yeah.
just make the
So
curve. That's true.
yeah, it's a boring process that happens like all in my mind on walks mostly. Um, but yeah,
No, but that's amazing. I definitely agree with that part because when I was starting out, I would go on the same walks and like almost every day just go to the nature, and it's so calming and it so helps you actually to have normal thoughts without any noise, without the phone, without the constant chatter of other people. So I mean, that's one of the things that help me even nowadays relax and if just go to nature. Now I live close to the beach, so just go by the beach and listen to the waves, and it's so, so good.
yeah.
I completely understand you there.
This is what I say to anybody like wanting to be more creative or wanting to start a creative business. The number one thing you can do is get rid of your smartphone. If you
So
do that, the way your mind works will change. Instead of when you're bored, you go to scroll. When you're bored, you'll start thinking of like, what do I want in life? How can I achieve that? And
yes,
you'll go from spending 2 hours a day scrolling to 2 hours a day, like designing your life or your business. And then, but here's the thing 99% of people won't get rid of their smartphone. So if
so
you
true.
do, that's a good way to get ahead of 99% of people.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely
Here,
on that.
I mean, here I am using my smartphone, but I had to like find it, hunt it down. Like, where the heck is my phone?
Yeah, yeah.
This is my usual phone. Just a
Ah, that's amazing. Yeah, that's super cool. Now I saw your email like 2 minutes before like 6 o'clock. Well, 6 o'clock here, and I was like, "What kind of a link does he want me to send him?" And then I said, "No, no,
Yeah, Instagram is far removed from my mind. I didn't even register it, but
yeah, no, it's all good." Um, you said it was so, I when I was researching about you and I was like, how did I not met this person earlier? Like you seem so fun in everything that you do and even in the typefaces. And I was like, my God. And the part with the Beyonce is amazing. The part where no, you said you are
oh
just
yeah,
Harper, like Beyonce. You don't need a second name.
yeah,
And that's amazing. And the part where you dance, it's so cool. Like
yeah.
everyone needs to go on your website like right now and see that part. It's so, so cool and so different at the same time. So kudos to that part.
Thank you.
And yeah, I mean, it's really, really good to actually differ yourself, to be different, to uh, achieve that uniqueness. So yeah,
Yeah.
I admired that part. That's for sure.
Now I think it's kind of funny because I think like the less hard you try, the more easier it is to be yourself. I was lucky enough where I was raised in a family that was very much like your value isn't dictated by the outside opinion of you. So just be yourself, be a good person primarily. And if you're a good person, literally nothing else matters. You know, take care of your be a good person, take care of your family. Anything else doesn't matter. So it's really freeing to be able to be like, if I got one and two checked off, nothing else matters.
Yeah,
I can dance on my website because who cares?
who cares? Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to do that for some time, and until like a couple of months ago, people didn't really know how do I look. I never put my name, I never put my picture on online because of all those things. Oh, what will someone think? And then, honestly, who cares? Like, I'm almost 40, and seriously, am I going to think about what anyone in this world will actually think about me? Like, I'm not a teenager or a kid or whatever. So, like, it's time to stop. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
In my
that's
mind too, it's like once you're married, it's like, what am I doing? I already found the person I need to like,
actually, yeah,
what do I care?
so true. No one cares. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Okay, so I have a couple of more questions. I will not keep you. I could talk like whole day with you. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm the
um,
least busy human in the planet Earth, so whatever. But you know,
okay, okay. Um, if you could have a conversation with yourself from 10 years ago,
Mhm.
what could you tell yourself?
Start designing type now.
But
'Cause I'd always wanted to for a very long time, ever since I took a type class. And I think like if I would have started 5 years earlier, so I kind of started 5 years ago, then I would have been in like the heyday of type design. I kind
yeah,
of my first year doing type design was like the heyday where I would make $3,000 on Creative Market alone. Now it's like $400, a
oh,
month.
wow.
So I would have, if I would have started sooner, I would have been set up really nice. But at the same time, I'm very hesitant to say that because I'm happy with my life. And maybe if I started sooner, I would have lived in New York and maybe I would have never met my wife. Maybe I would. So it's tough to say.
That's true.
No, I would probably say get rid of my phone earlier.
Oh,
That's yeah. That's what I would say. Get rid of your phone because it was just it's a distraction for not for everybody, but I lied to myself for 10 years thinking that it was something that it wasn't. I was like, oh, it helps me in business. It help. No, no,
no.
that was true.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I would probably just say, just keep at it. I guess. Was 10 years ago was 2015. Yeah, just keep at it.
Yeah, yeah. Just
I
leave
don't,
the phone out of the story.
yeah. Um,
Oh,
Tough to say. 10 years ago. Yeah. I don't, I'm
okay.
happy with how things have worked out. I think I've gone through what I need to go through. I It's hard to say because like the answer to that question is like, how could your life have been easier? And it's like, why would I have wanted my life to be easier? Because there's something I needed to learn. I'm like religious, I believe that
Okay.
life is eternal, that this earth is a place to learn. So I'm like, why would I take away an opportunity to learn by taking away a hardship that is, you know, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I get that. Yeah, I get you. Tell me more about who you are when you are not designing fonts.
Okay.
Who is the person that's not designing fonts?
Yeah, so if I'm not designing fonts through like my youth and up until about last year, it was rollerblading. I
Okay.
was I grew up, I was a professional rollerblader at like 16, like at the skate parks, like my life was rollerblading and everything else I did was just in between rollerblading.
Oh wow.
And I have a twin brother. He also rollerbladed and he still does. He owns a skate company now. He makes skates and stuff. But like a year ago, he broke his leg and it scared me because I was
Oh,
like, if he broke his leg, maybe I could break mine. And it was like really bad. He was out for like a year. And I was
oh,
like,
oh.
I have a family. Like, I don't want that. I want to run around with my kid. I had a kid last year, so I'm a dad now. And so I kind of scaled back on that. And with my free time, I usually just spend with my wife and kid going on walks, being outside in the mountains, and do some rock climbing and then cooking. So outside of type design, I rock climb a couple times a week for fitness, and my wife likes to do it with me. I go on a lot of walks, and then I cook dinner for, in this household, it's me, my wife, my child, my mother and father in law, my wife's brother, and my wife's brother's wife. So we
Okay.
have like all these adults living here, and I like to cook for everybody most nights. So that's what I do. It's a
Oh,
very, very simple life.
that's
Um,
amazing. No, I definitely value that part. So it's super cool.
yeah, I don't know. I'm a big fan of just. I think in today's world, there's too much. It's too much. Like we have way more than we need to be happy, but we're wired to look for happiness. I think in today's world, instead of looking for happiness, it's sitting right in front of us. What we need to do is take away everything that is distracting us from seeing it. So I'm a big fan of like scale down your life, come up with 2 or 3 things that are important to you, focus on those. If it's physical health, good food, family, and just worry about those things like keeping up on shows and going to events. And it's too much. It's too much for me.
Yeah. I mean, everyone has their own path and desires and everything, but I value that honesty and that path definitely. It's something that I think more of us should, approach and try to do it because I have a feeling that even me sometimes I'm not pretending like to be above anyone or anything, but I have a feeling that we are constantly, as you said, in pursuit of happiness, but not until we actually stop looking for it that we will find it. So yeah,
Yeah.
like slow down, as you said, be with your family, be with your friends, be in the nature. So I definitely understand that part.
Yeah. So just a simple life. Also, my phone is about to die. It's at like 20%. Like I said, like
Okay,
I had to just
no worries.
put
I
it in
have
charge.
just one more question for you. I
Good.
mean, I have a lot of them, but it's almost an hour. So, um, if you could give just one advice to the people listening, to the people that will see this video, or to your friends, family, just one thing, what would you say to them?
It depends. I feel like because like there's stages, kind of like the advice I
Okay.
would give somebody at my stage of life will be very different than I would give myself 10 years ago.
Okay.
So I think probably if I could like all encompassing is um like life advice or design advice. I don't know.
Whatever
Is
you think is important.
I would say know yourself. Discover who you truly are. I found that through religion or it's been a liberating thing to know like, oh, this is who I am, this is how I'm defined. And like I said, like good person, take care of your family, nothing else matters. I cannot tell you how liberating it is to know like nothing else matters besides what matters. And religious, while obviously I believe it's true, um I'm not going to say to everybody like find Jesus, you'll solve all your problems. I would say know yourself. Know what makes you happy. Figure out your list of priorities and then start to pursue those. A lot of the times we want something new. We want to improve our life. We want this, that, and the other. But if we spend 2 hours a day on our phone and we see other people's lives, can we really know ourselves if we spend 2 hours a day looking at other people's lives? Let's spend 2 hours a day analyzing our own selves, figuring out ourselves, and you will very quickly know yourself, know your priorities. You'll be excited, and you'll know where to put your energy to achieve what you want in this life. So I would say no matter what stage you're on in life, know yourself, and it will make progressing so much easier. Yeah.
That's so good. Honestly, that's so good. You've said so many good things in this hour, and everything is really like um, really deep. But I appreciate you and for everything that you said. I wish you all the best with the new Type Foundry, and let's see how that goes. I had amazing time talking to you, And yeah, and sorry for making you find a smartphone again. So
No worries.
yeah,
No
it's
worries. It was
for
buried
now.
in my
Yeah,
car
for a good
somewhere.
cause.
Yeah, no. And hey, a smartphone is a good tool. I'm gonna say that, but I just can't use it right. I'm not like it's
Yeah,
evil or anything. It's bad. I just can't use it right. So
I absolutely understand it.
yeah,
So thank you once again and wish you all the best. I hope we talk again sometime in the future when AI maybe takes our job. Let's see how it goes. And yeah, all the best to you, my friend.
yeah. You too. I love what you're doing here. It's awesome to get to know you after seeing your work for so many years. And good job. Keep it up, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a lovely
Bye.
day and chat
Yeah,
soon. Bye
you
bye.
too.
Bye, everyone.
I don't know how to end this, by the way. Maybe you have
I
to.
will end it. You just close the app. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much and goodbye, everyone. Thank you.